Hey everybody, it's the Ioniq guy here, and today I've got the 2023 Hyundai Ioniq 5 limited all-wheel drive in digital teal. And Hyundai was nice enough to lend me the car for a week, so I've got all sorts of content coming out in the near future. So this is actually the first time I've spent any time in a limited trim Ioniq 5. I've been with my SEL for almost a year now. I've got my 1-year review coming up pretty soon, but this is my first experience with the limited trim, other than the brief time I spent with Kyle Connor and his dad back in last February when we did a comparison between the SE, SEL, and limited trims. But I gotta say, it does look good. I am kind of unsure how I feel about the silver trim on the exterior, but I do really like the look of the 20-inch wheels. I think they definitely look sharper than the SEL's wheels. But anyway guys, today we're gonna take a look at the 2023 limited all-wheel drive Ioniq 5, and I'll tell you all about it, so if you're interested, stay tuned. Let's talk about some changes for 2023. It has an expected range of 266 miles, which is up 10 miles versus the 2022. Towing capacity has increased across the board except for the SE standard range from 1,650 pounds to 2,300 pounds. So that's a pretty sizable difference and allows you to tow a lot more different types of trailers. So for 2023, we retain all the same exterior body colors, but we do gain one, Gravity Gold Matte, which has been available across the globe so far, but now it's coming to the US for 2023. And I really like the look of that color. It gives another matte option versus Shooting Star. So now we've got a couple matte colored options. Battery preconditioning is now standard across the board on all Ioniq 5s. They did begin implementing it late in the 2022 model year for all-wheel drives. So from about the May or June timeframe of 2022, all-wheel drive Ioniq 5s did start getting battery preconditioning. So now that we've talked about everything that's changed, let's talk about what stayed the same and some of the features you get on the limited trim. This car has the exact same powertrain as the 2022, and that's 320 horsepower, 446 pound-feet of torque. You've got the same 20-inch wheels as last year. This car retains the glossy black trim on the exterior around the windows. And the biggest difference between the other trims and the Limited is the fact that the Limited has all the silver trim on the wheel arches and the front and rear bumpers. We still have the big fixed panoramic glass sunroof, the same mustache accent lighting. The Limited trim has a surround view camera system that allows you to park with sort of a bird's eye view above the car. It's really cool and it makes parking a breeze. Nothing in terms of lighting has changed since the 2022 model year. You still have the same lighting in the back with the light piped strip across the hatch. Now, unfortunately for 2023, we did not gain a rear windshield wiper, but we've seen photos of the upcoming Hyundai Ioniq 5N, and that does have a rear wiper. So at this point, I'm going to say odds are 2024 model year, we're going to see a rear wiper on the Ioniq 5. In terms of charging, we have the same 800-volt architecture, which allows us to go 10 to 80% in just 18 minutes when in ideal weather conditions or if using battery preconditioning. And what battery preconditioning does is it allows you to set a Electrify America and EVgo charge point station as your destination, and when you're about 30 minutes or 30 miles away from that station, it begins warming up the battery pack. And this will allow you to arrive with a nice warm battery pack that's going to give you the best charging speeds that you can possibly get, even in really cold weather. 2023 still has the same pop-out door handles that automatically open when approaching the vehicle. Unfortunately, they didn't add the feature where as you walk away, they will shut and lock the car. That's something that a lot of cars offer, so I really hope in the 2024 model year that Hyundai will add that feature. The limited trim does also feature a bunch of smart parking features that aren't found on the SE or SEL, and these are automated parallel parking, automatic perpendicular parking, as well as pulling into tight spots via the key fob. As long as you're within the presence of the car, it'll allow you to drive the car forward, backwards. It'll stop if it senses anything that it's about to hit, being a person or a bicyclist or a wall. And for people with tight garages, this is a very useful feature from what I've heard. And I'll demonstrate that right now. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna lock the car. We're going to hold to start. And then we're going to hold the park forward button. And you have to stay relatively close to the car or else it will automatically stop. go in reverse now. And you will see it will stop if it does sense somebody near it. See? And if it senses somebody close to one of the corners, it will turn the wheels. I will say it is quite weird seeing a car driving itself with nobody in the seat. So here on the inside of the Ioniq 5 Limited trim, some things that you gain. You get ventilated seats. You also get the sliding center console. You also get an augmented reality heads-up display, or HUD as it's otherwise known. And as you'll see in the windshield here, it projects a readout of your speed, blind spot warnings, lane centering, turn-by-turn navigation if you are using the built-in navigation system. So it adds a lot of niceties. And depending on your height, it's easier to see the heads-up display versus the mile per hour and range on the driver display. Sometimes the top of the steering wheel will block it depending on your height. You still have the same magnetic area on the left side of the driver display, which is perfect for my 3D printed magnetic sunglass holder. In the Limited trim, you're also going to get a 2-seat memory for the driver's seat. With the Limited trim, you also do get some more interior lighting with this half-circle light bar. And at night, you can use this button to just light this for some extra ambiance. And possibly one of the biggest differences between the SE, SEL, and the Limited trim is the fact that the Limited has the panoramic glass sunroof, which can be opened with a tap of this button, opens up the sunshade, and gives you a massive view out the top of the car. And I gotta say, this is really a cool feature. I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I do. It just really adds a lot of character to the inside of the car. You get a lot more natural light. You can lay back and look up at the sky when you're sitting charging. I really like it. So I'll go ahead and show you the surround view camera system, which you can activate by this camera button here. You can see it gives you trajectory lines from above, as well as your standard reversing elements. You can use different views here. You can have one for, say, putting on a trailer to see your ball. You have down the sides of the car with the side view mirrors. Then you have your standard view. But then you also have this really cool augmented reality where you can go around the car and see all around it from those cameras. Really cool feature, definitely helpful instead of having to get somebody out of the car to spot you if you're trying to parallel park or in some difficult parking situation. The Limited trim is also the only trim that comes with automatic wipers, and you can set different levels of auto depending on if it's just misting or a light drizzle. With the Limited trim, you also do get a driver's seat that will move back upon exit and move forward upon entry. This makes ingress and egress just a little bit easier if you have long legs. You also get the fancy driver relaxation mode, which you use one of the buttons next to the seat adjustments, and it pushes the seat back, reclines it. It lifts up the calf cushion and gives your calves a little bit of a break. With the Limited trim, the passenger also gets a fully adjustable seat. It does not have the driver relaxation seat though. This is just a standard adjustable passenger seat. In the back of the car, both sides do get retractable sunshades for your rear passengers. Something that only the Limited trim has is an adjustable forward and backward driver headrest. So you can simply click it forward and it pushes the headrest up. And if you go all the way and release, it lets it back. Now in the Limited trim with the sliding center console, you do have this larger storage nook down here, which is absent in the SE and SEL center consoles. On the SEL and Limited trims, you do get air vents for the rear passengers. Something that the Limited trim has that the SEL doesn't is adjustable rear headrests, and those go up and down. The center headrest does adjust on all the Ioniq 5 trims. The Limited trim is the only trim that has a rear 120 volt outlet, and it does up to 16 amps or 1800 watts. Now, unfortunately, this cannot be combined with the exterior V2L adapter, so you can't output 3600 watts total. It's 1800 watts combined between both plugs. So the Limited trim is the only trim of the Ioniq 5 that comes with a premium sound system. And so you do get a subwoofer made by Bose under the floor. And unfortunately, that does eat into your lower floor trunk space quite significantly. So if cargo space is really important to you, the SEL trim is probably the way to go. With the premium audio system, you also do gain a center channel speaker here in the dashboard. So with the premium sound system, you do have 7 speakers plus a subwoofer versus 6 speakers in the SEL and below. Now the Limited trim does have the fancy stainless steel door sill plates in the front as well as the rear. The Limited trim also comes with the retractable cargo cover, and that is standard equipment on the Limited, whereas it's an option on the SEL and below. So there you have it. That's everything you get when you step up to the Limited trim, plus all the changes going from the 2022 to the 2023 Ioniq 5 Limited. So thanks for checking this video out. If you guys liked it, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.